Hey everyone, Budget Nerd here. You know I enjoy me some good networking hardware, and I've gotten my hands on several budget-conscious brands over the years. Well, now a new contender has entered the ring. Meet Alta Labs. They aim to offer functionality to rival or even beat other brands, aiming to also beat them in cost, with their sites mostly focused on being a Ubiquiti killer. Let's see if Ubiquiti should be worried. Alta Labs reached out to me and offered to send out their first product, their Wi-Fi 6 access point. Yes, they sent out 2 of them. Stay tuned to find out how you can win one of them. It's called the AP6. This is the Pro version, and it comes in around $180. It's a Wi-Fi 6 access point, but since it's using the newer 4096 QAM Qualcomm chip, they get to offer 6 streams of Wi-Fi 6 goodness, giving you Wi-Fi 7 speeds. In fact, with this Pro version, you get speeds up to 6.3 gigabits per second of combined speed. In the box, you get the access point, which is a relief. I think it looks pretty nice, and it's not too big either, coming in at 190 by 125 by 32 millimeters, or 7.5 by 4.9 by 1.25 inches. It's much heavier than you'd expect, at 9 pounds or 0.4 kilograms, and feels very solid. Not much to speak of on the sides, and on the bottom you get a reset button, a fairly large milled aluminum heatsink, which I haven't seen often on these sorts of things, and the PoE plus Ethernet port. You also get this card with a QR code for instructions should you need them, this plastic mounting bracket, this little plastic coffin with screws and hardware, and lastly this metal mounting bracket. There isn't an Ethernet cable, which is fine, I guess. But if you don't have a switch that provides PoE power, you will need to get an injector or the optional adapter they seem to offer. The Pro model also supports the faster Wi-Fi 7 speeds, as mentioned, 4x4 MIMO on the 5 GHz band, more capable radios, including 4 5 GHz antennas, and also has an IP54 weather rating. Well, let's see what this thing will do. Hooking it up was pretty easy. Since I'm a massive nerd, adjusting my massively nerdy network rack was pretty effortless. Once powered on, the blue light will come on. You can change that light to either blue or white if you want. I hooked up the other one out in the garage. They do have these little plastic spacers you can pull out should you need to flush mount it, and if you have a cable to deal with. Speaking of mounting it, they claim to have a pretty easy mounting system that will let you remove and reattach the access point with ease. Once hooked up, head to manage.alta.inc and create an account. As you can see, once I got signed in, the access point was already recognized and was ready to set up, which was as easy as clicking Setup. It just did its thing, while only leaving me the task of naming it. Clicking on the icon gives you your access point card. You can configure a few things about this access point here. Once the access point is set up, it will show you its IP address and some stats. One of the other things that Alta Labs claims that makes them stand out is the free cloud management tools and some of the things they offer with said tools. You get a nifty dashboard with some good at-a-glance info, but at the same time it's not too busy or cluttered. You can see network activity on the access point in real time, over 1 hour, 2 days, or 2 months. You also get a snapshot of the top offenders on your network, including the top applications taking up the most bandwidth, and the top active access points on the right. On the Network tab, you get more details about the devices. Both access points had updates to apply, and was also as easy as one click. Another thing that's cool is their color system. You can assign device colors, and any change you make for that color will propagate to any devices assigned that color. It's super handy if you're deploying changes to a group of access points or to access points at a specific site. In fact, in the upper right, you have the option to create different sites to help you manage your Alta Labs stuff. If you click on an access point, you can open its card, giving you a few options to control. You can also use the Scan tab to scan the Wi-Fi in the area and find a suitable band, all without disrupting your Wi-Fi. Under the Device tab, you can see your devices that are connected to the access point. You get your typical info here with the option to customize what you see by clicking on the Columns button on the right. There are other neat things here, like the options to sort any of these columns, a graph that plots each device usage, and the ability to open cards for the devices to control them, with the ability to open multiple cards at once. You can specify the type of access you want them to have, assign them to a VLAN, throttle download or upload speeds, bypass certain hotspots or schedule rules, and select an icon just for fun. Under the Settings tab, you can create Wi-Fi SSIDs you want your access points to broadcast. You can use a password or use a radius server if you select Enterprise, or be a silly person and have your Wi-Fi open. However, I'm told you can create a landing page for open access for people to accept your terms. If you go the password route, you can have several passwords for the same wireless network, applying different rules depending on the password used. For example, the parents could use a password parents rule, and the kids could use the password kids drool. When the kids drool password is used, it will apply a different network type that will limit them to just internet access or the guest network, limiting or blocking their access to your local network, which is great for IoT devices. This is where you'd assign this SSID to certain sites or colors. Then assign your access points to sites or colors. It's a neat idea. You also get a few advanced features, which you can see here, like enabling WPA3, limiting bandwidth on the whole access point, enabling a schedule when Wi-Fi would be on or off, and more. Under the Filter section, you can block applications by name like Among Us, BitTorrent, Netflix, or that cesspool that is TikTok. You can also block groups of services like cloud, mail, media, or gaming. It's super easy to set up and seem to work well. However, it's a bit of a one-size-fits-all, or as we like to call it in the biz, a sledgehammer approach. Block YouTube on an access point, and everyone on that access point can't access YouTube. It's great if you need a blanket rule, but if you need to get more granular, you can't do that. At least, not yet. Alta Labs says they're working on adding more features as time goes on. I can tell you the first time your CEO wanders into this access point's range and gets his favorite app blocked, he will want it corrected ASAP, yet will still want everyone else restricted. This sort of sledgehammer approach makes it hard to implement in your home if you're a prosumer. It's all or nothing for your house, and that's hard to pull off. We used these things for a little over a week and never had any issues. However, I did notice they do run hot. That heatsink on those Qualcomm chips makes sense now. The fact that their cloud management is free is great. It allows us prosumer folks to blur the line and lets us dip our toe in this sort of management without having to pay a fee or a monthly fee, which might not make sense for a home. As far as speed tests, it did well, scoring a respectable 49 megabytes per second on a local file transfer, behind the two TP-Link tests I did at 58 and 69 megabytes per second. The same test right next to the access point netted a much better 77 megabytes per second, when the TP-Link nailed it down an 83. Internet speed tests were the best I've seen, a 340 megabits per second breaking the previous record of 325. My laptop's link speed was 866 megabits per second, which seems to be standard. Alright, last thing to cover is the giveaway. I'll give away one of these access points. All you have to do is caption this photo. I will respond to the funniest caption and ask you for your address. Just make sure it's me, as others have posted with accounts using my name and picture even, telling people they've won something. The only thing I will ask you for is your address. Again, just make sure it's me. I'll give you all a week or so to enter your caption. Keep it clean and keep it fun. So far, I like them, and likely will like them more as features get added. If you look at a Ubiquiti access points page, there is a lot more going on here, but Ubiquiti should keep an eye out in their rearview mirror, as they should see Alta Labs back there now, gunning for them. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching.